Good afternoon, friends, former colleagues. It's wonderful to be with you at Transform USA. Would have been better if we could be in person, but virtually works well too. I'm here to talk today about resiliency and sustainability in the built environment. I've been working in this space for more than 25 years. Started off as a mechanical engineer and then helped with electrical engineering and other disciplines as well. And through the years have done a lot of different work around sustainability, mostly in the built environment, but a ton on waste and packaging, plastics, and social responsibility. But my passion keeps bringing me back to the built environment. So what I'd like to do today is tell you a little bit about my journey, talk to you about my work at Whole Foods Market and how excited I was to be able to work there for 14 years. But now I'm really excited to be with a company called E2S. Its principal and founder, Mike, is a former colleague of mine, friend of mine, and is probably one of the most talented and passionate people in this space that I know. So to be able to work with him and deliver some of these solutions to industry is a joy of mine, and just really thrilled to be doing that. So here we go. As I mentioned, I work for Whole Foods Market for 14 plus years, and what was unbelievable about that is the type of company Whole Foods Market is: mission driven, purpose driven, so many amazing programs, including team member voting and so many different programs for team members, like conscious leadership and the health immersion programs, the foundations that the company started, so many firsts across all areas of business, not just built environment. Happened to be where I started with Whole Foods Market, in energy and facilities maintenance and engineering and store design. So I have, again, like I said, a particular passion about that. But with animal welfare and sustainable agriculture, regenerative agriculture, those are really things I still have a huge interest in. And as we're all here today to talk about sustainable development goals and where we need to be as not only a country, but as a world, is going to require a ton of effort in every area. But for now, I want to make significant impacts in the built environment. And yeah, so I'm going to share with you a little bit about what I did at Whole Foods Market. Couldn't have done it alone, was by myself as a team, but leveraged significant resources and partnerships like the EPA and the DOE, and was fortunate enough to work with a lot of the different labs: National Renewable Energy Labs, Oak Ridge National Labs, Pacific Northwest National Labs, on lots of different engineering and manufacturing type work. And so yes, also had to work very closely with other teams within Whole Foods Market and with our suppliers, and even with my peers and other businesses. And that's where we were able to make a lot of headway and continue to innovate. So we first looked at, wow, we have 80 stores under development. We need to get to these, the engineering and the design of these stores before they're built, because clearly it's better to avoid using resources and materials where possible. But there's a big push on, natural and biophilic type designs, working within surroundings, keeping existing spaces, reusing elements, keeping it local. And these things all helped, especially with new engineering standards, to significantly reduce the resource consumption during our store development process. I'm not going to go into all of these first, but hopefully if you get a copy of this presentation, you'll see what Whole Foods Market leadership allowed our teams to accomplish together. Really significant in a lot of different firsts in the built environment, especially with natural refrigerants and renewable energy and combined heat and power, all different types of LEED and Green Globe certifications, EV charging, battery and storage. Really proud to have worked for an organization that allowed us to innovate in these areas. So what we see for results with that work is significantly reducing HVAC and electric system sizing. And as I mentioned, that's huge, because then we can avoid putting so much structural steel and aluminum and copper, as well as spending a ton of money on the capital cost for the equipment and then the operating cost for energy and maintenance. It's all about building performance at this point. So I'm not going to read all these details as well, but just significant accomplishments with the team. very happy to have more than 75 solar systems on stores and distribution centers. Lots, as I mentioned, of green building certification, renewable energy credits, and renewable energy direct purchase, and significantly advanced refrigeration systems. So after working for Whole Foods Market for about 14 years, we're making great headway. But talking to Mike and knowing that we could deliver a lot of those solutions to other businesses and industry, and that it had a much more immediate impact, from delivering these at scale and working with utilities, I decided that, yes, I really want to come and build the business. E2S has been so fortunate to have a talented team of engineers and field technicians and all kinds of help. And what they've done is really grown based on referrals from existing clients, who are many of them Fortune 50 and 100 businesses. But we now will be taking and putting together, we're almost done updating our website and putting together some brochures and case studies and really helping tell a story to other businesses, because it is a very important story. I think what differentiates E2S from other energy solutions providers and engineering companies is this passion for building it correctly, designing it correctly, and then making sure that all of the systems are set up accurately and correctly so that the assets in the building can last its life cycle and really perform at its optimum, so that spaces are comfortable and safe and things last the way they should. So here is E2S's mission: support clients as a superb, trusted technical advisor through our talent, experience, and ethical actions. Provide the best-in-class total lifecycle building solutions to create high value for our clients, and conduct all business with external and internal clients with integrity and respect. We've got over 300 plus combined years of built environment experience. And like I mentioned, a strong quality team that are certified and just very passionate about what they do. And this is a list of all of our services that, as I mentioned, the website and the brochures and documents will help to provide more information. So at the end of this presentation, my email and phone number are available, and it would be wonderful if you got in touch with me and we can talk about all of these services in detail. One of the things that we've been noticing recently is lots of clients asking us about ventilation and filtration to help prevent the spread of airborne diseases like COVID-19. So we are absolutely a resource to help clients understand what might be required. We've researched with ASHRAE and CDC and just have some best practices and can support any business with their ventilation and filtration. We also have been working on a very exciting new program called Critical Infrastructure Renewal, and a lot of different multi-site portfolio business owners are faced with all of a sudden 20, 40, 100 of their locations that they built at a certain time all need new rooftop units or new roofing or new other major systems and pieces of equipment. And sometimes this may present a capital constraint, and also it is a large endeavor to undertake and requires a lot of resources and thinking. And many times, some businesses are just faced with, we don't really have the time or resources to look at this that way, so we will just replace one for one. What E2S does is we go in and we make sure we look at your building and all of the systems in a systems-wide approach and see if there are any things that can be done so that ultimately we may even be able to downsize some of the rooftop unit capacities or introduce additional capacity where it's required, but at the most efficient that it can be, and also total life cycle cost analysis to make sure that we're taking so many different things into consideration, especially resiliency and sustainability. We've been doing turnkey energy upgrades for Fortune 50 and 100 clients. And again, we go through and do it with a targeted approach and really look at the engineering and make sure that we aren't just doing lighting separately and then going in and doing another HVAC fix or something else. We try to look at this building as a whole, because if we can do a lighting retrofit, then we can probably do something to the HVAC as well. And most importantly, recently we are looking at advanced controls and building management systems, and really learning and making sure our clients know how to use these systems to their best ability, continue to monitor for continuous improvement, and eventually even some of these systems can be layered or integrated using Internet of Things, and businesses can play in the capacity markets with one overriding system. Commissioning is really how the company started off. Mike and team understood that a lot of buildings were being built and then they were just being opened and operated, but they never really had a baseline that they knew would be the premium efficiency operation of that building. So commissioning is very, very key for E2S, extreme proficiency in this area, and a lot of different real-time cloud-based information, as well as significant follow-up after the 11-month punch walkthrough, for example. And I can attest to this because I used E2S's services back when I was Director of Energy and Environmental at Shaw Supermarkets, and helped convince our construction team at Whole Foods Market to use their services for commissioning. And we've seen realized immediate savings and just an amazing wealth of information and best practices. Similarly with air and water balancing, E2S provides balancing for all different types of building portfolios and equipment and systems. And again, it's just really results in eliminated post-warranty early R&M costs, coordinated specialist team delivering all this precision to make sure that these systems are balanced properly and there's the correct airflow in every space with the right amount of ventilation and outdoor air. So what we think about with sustainability now in the built environment is absolutely all about the quadruple bottom line. And it includes culture. And the E2S culture is very similar to like a Whole Foods Market culture. It's really taking care of people, being interdependent, using a stakeholder model approach, collaborating. And so, we know that all of those things are going to result for our clients having a much stronger performing building and better bottom lines. So yeah, we also want to make sure we're using integrated reporting, transparency with all business functions, true accountability, performance-based, and then really, like I mentioned, using those monitoring IoT systems and building management systems for continuous improvement. So it's been my pleasure to be here talking to you today. Just really hope that we can all continue to do as much as we can to help further the sustainable development goals in whatever area our business happens to be. But for the built environment, trust E2S because we have solutions at your fingertips. And my email and phone number are here for you to get in touch with me. Thanks and enjoy the rest of the conference.